Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. So I got a question on a video it's kind of unrelated to the question, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. But it says, John, can you make a video on TRT? I want to see your opinion on it. I'm trying to decide if I should start it. So I'll try to do this without like coming down on anyone. I know some of you are on TRT, but TRT is just steroids. It's just the same thing as steroids. It's the same thing as quote cheating. Okay. So let's not mince words on this, right? I mean, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, is basically taking steroids. It is unnaturally raising your testosterone level. Now, granted, if you have super, super low testosterone, does this make sense? I suppose so, like if you've tried everything else. But for most guys that are taking this, like as your testosterone is dropping off, it is really just like you're just taking steroids. So you have to understand that and be aware of that. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big proponent of it. Like I said, I think it's just a way to legally prescribe steroids. And it's a crutch, right? Like I said, I think a lot of things are crutches in life. I think I've done at least 1 or 2 or 100 videos about crutches. We can see if there's like a video specifically on crutches and why. Again, I talked about why I don't do steroids and why I won't, because for me, like the whole process is all about what I become in the process of achieving the physique that I want, and it's not necessarily the end result by itself. That's important. So as far as to be honest here, like my testosterone naturally is fairly high, right? So it's not something that I've had to consider. But I've had lower, bouts of testosterone. So what I would suggest is that, rather than go down the road of TRT, I would honestly suggest that you actually try and do things that will naturally raise your testosterone. So I'll give you a few tips here, some kind of things that you can do, and I'll say this as well, right? This is the other thing I'll say before I say that, which is that if you start taking TRT, right, it's the same thing as taking steroids, you're going to only get the results while you continue to take it. So you're going to have to be like dependent on the substance in order to get the results. And as soon as you go off of it, if you try to go off of it or you don't have it, you're going to basically deflate like a fucking balloon. Like you're going to lose the gains that you have, because I did this other video, I can't remember what I called it now, where I was talking about, basically muscle protein synthesis, like how you gain muscle and whatnot. And I was talking about the idea that it's the difference between the protein synthesis and the protein degradation. Like the protein gets broken down versus the protein that gets created, the new protein synthesis, right? And so that's what determines how much muscle mass that you hold. And when you hit this, I think I did a video when someone was saying, like, are you at your max capacity? But essentially, you're going to reach like an equilibrium in your body, like what is your quote natural max. And a lot of what's going to influence that is going to be testosterone levels, right? Because those testosterone levels are going to control greatly the muscles, the protein synthesis, and as well as the recovery, okay? And so if you are using something like TRT, right, basically testosterone, basically steroids, to increase your testosterone, it's going to allow you to hold more muscle or to have a higher protein synthesis rate, which is going to let you reach an equilibrium at that specific level of testosterone. So when you lose that, or if you drop that down, what is going to happen? You're going to go out of equilibrium again, and your body's going to sustain or look to find a new equilibrium, which would be at a lower muscle mass and a higher fat percentage probably, right? So that is not a very appealing prospect to me. So that's one consideration. I'm not saying that if I had, like, to be honest, right, to be pragmatic and practical, even though it's against my principles, that's a lot of P's. If I had a very, very low testosterone, like 100 or 200 reading, then I would probably consider it. Like I would probably say, okay, well, if I've tried everything else. But let me give you some of the other things, and I'm not going to make this a super long video because the point of the video is not to tell you how to naturally boost your testosterone, right? But I'll give you just some ideas and some tips, and just I've done the research on this, and I've had pretty good results as well. So the first thing is number one is lifting heavy weights, right? If you are basically lifting heavy weights, there's plenty of studies that show that, especially like squats and doing compound movements, are going to boost testosterone, right? If not temporarily, permanently, okay? So that's number one. Number two would be losing body fat. Again, the more body fat that you are holding, the higher the estrogen production, and that is going to fight with the testosterone. Okay, so if you actually decrease body fat, that can increase testosterone. Okay, to a degree. At some point when you start to decrease it, it starts to actually decrease testosterone again. Okay, to make sure that you are taking zinc, right? That you are not deficient in zinc, magnesium. Okay, if you're older, like above, I think it's like 35 or so, DHEA could be a possible supplement because you could be lacking in that, and that can cause that can help boost that. Those are kind of the basics there, and vitamin D. Okay, vitamin D3 is what I would take, and I take those just to be on the safe side, just to make sure I'm not deficient in any of those things. Having a lack of sleep can hurt your testosterone, so making sure you get plenty of sleep so that you don't have too much of a cortisol response, which can decrease testosterone. And those are pretty much the main things. The other thing would be what I would say is kind of the winning effect, right? So there's been plenty of studies that show that when you're winning and successful, that your testosterone increases. In fact, there was a study that showed that just talking to a good-looking woman for 10 minutes can boost a man's testosterone, right? So having success in that area can definitely boost your testosterone. So basically, I would try all those things, right? I would be working on improving myself, getting in peak physical shape as much as I can, taking the supplements that I can to make sure that I'm not having any deficiencies, having success in my life as much as possible, working on myself, and then I think you will see an increase in testosterone naturally. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. You have to talk to your doctor. So, I'm not going to give you medical advice here, but I'm going to say that that's what I would be trying rather than going on TRT, where I'm suddenly going to be stuck on there and I'm going to be basically handicapped, where if I get off of that and I don't have that injection, that I'm going to lose my gains. I don't want to be in that situation, and I don't want to be on a synthetic hormone if I can help it, right? And the other side of this is that a lot of guys that do TRT, they really don't need it, right? Doctors, there's plenty of doctors you can find that will prescribe you TRT when your levels are perfectly normal or they're very slightly below, right? Or you'll get a reading where they are low because it fluctuates over time. And they'll basically be doing that because, you want to have, the benefits of steroids. Like, my opinion would be, like, it's kind of dumb, like, I think, right? Because I know, like, at least 10 places I could just get steroids if I wanted to buy them, and then I could find someone who knows how to do cycles and what. It's not hard, right? You can search on YouTube, you can search on the internet, you can find plenty of people that if you sent them an email and you offered to pay them for coaching, that they would give you, quote, coaching. You know what I'm saying? That's not hard to do. So I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna do it, I would just go all the way and just do it and get my levels way up there, right? And I don't know. That's just me. If I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna optimally cheat. I'm not gonna sub-optimally cheat. To me, TRT is just stupid because you're basically sub-optimally cheating, or at least I'd look into SARMs or something like that. So again, I'm not gonna do any of that shit because to me, it is cheating and it is a crutch, and I don't want to use crutches. So I'm not gonna do any of that, and I'm not condoning it or recommending it, but as far as if you're going to do TRT, why not do that? In my opinion, right? This is just my stupid opinion, but that's how I view it. So, but people that tell you that TRT is not steroids and is not the same thing, they're blowing smoke up your ass. If you're doing it, you're cheating, right? You're cheating your natural body, whether you feel like your body is deficient or you're fucked up or it's not your fault. I don't care. I'm just saying that you just have to recognize that you're doing the same thing as somebody who's taking steroids. There's literally no difference except that some doctor has given you a stamp that says you're approved. So you have to recognize that and realize that that is a choice that you're making. Again, no judgment here. If you want to make that choice, that's totally fine. Just realize that, be prepared, watch the video on crutches, like I said, that I've done, so that you understand the choice that you're making. Because when you choose to use a crutch, and this will definitely be a crutch because you will not be able to get off of this without suffering negative consequences. When you choose to use a crutch, you will be giving up a certain level of your freedom. Okay, and you will be making a trade-off. So just recognize that. So, all right, that's all I got for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.